Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce Rahat. Thanks for coming today, Rahat, and it's my pleasure to host you.
Thanks, Salim, for having me here.
You're currently a staff software engineer in Apple, and you also help students, juniors, and senior professionals in IT improve their own career and personal lives using technology, which I find very interesting. So, the first question I'd love to ask is how do you go about helping students, juniors, and senior professionals in tech?
Yeah, sure. So I think I have I have an affinity towards teaching since like early on in my career, and I have been trying to help as many people as I can, like by teaching online courses, etc. And one thing which is one thing is giving back to community, but one selfish thing in teaching is that if I want to learn something new, I sign up for teaching that, and automatically when I learn something new, I use it and then I can teach it as well. So it's somewhat selfish, but also then giving back to the community.
Hmm. And what are like the common things you use, or how do you specifically go about helping your clients? Like, do you use this tool, and how do you incorporate it?
Sure. So I think I have like evolved during my whole career of what I want to help people with. Earlier, I helped people with mobile app development. I wrote a book on Ionic, which was published about it, and then I wrote a lot of blog posts, etc., on web development. That was my forte. But these days, I have been very fascinated about AI and how we can be very close to AI. So just an interesting note, like in 2012, 2013, like a decade back, I wrote a small technical paper in my college about a concept called digital pal. Like in that paper, 12 years back, I wrote about building a system which will be every person's friend, digital friend, which will help them to know everything about in the world, what ChatGPT or AI does today. And I think as I had been dreaming about it from the past decade, now seeing it in reality, I am trying to help as many people as it to utilize that to their potential and unleash their potential.
And is there a moment, is there a specific moment when you realized that AI was at this level? Was it when ChatGPT was released?
Yeah, I think last year was. I've been following the space for a little while, but it was all passive because there was no drastic change, right? But I think suddenly when OpenAI released the public ChatGPT, maybe they have been working with 3 years, and I think the whole, if you see really, all of the companies like just woke up at the same time, like Google, everyone woke up at the same time that we have to also publicly release these models or machine learning knowledge into the world and leverage to actual end consumers. Till then it was all about business, etc. Because so in my previous organization I was working for Flipkart, which is India's biggest e-commerce, like which was acquired by Walmart and biggest competitor to Amazon. We have been doing sentiment analysis for detecting if people are happy or not from their tweets, social media in back in 2016, etc.
Hmm. Yeah, and just going back to your AI consulting, would love like if you could, if you can, give like an example without their name of a client and how you went about using AI to achieve their goals.
So right now I think I'm mostly helping individual people to realize how ChatGPT can help increase developer productivity. So most of my uh, like people who have consulted me are developers who I have told them specific use cases about, like writing unit test cases, writing utility methods. Like so I always advise, like if your enterprise or if your company doesn't allow you to like provide or use directly the UI or the code directly or provide data, but I think we all have been writing code, watching Stack Overflow answers, right? Or Googling out the answers, right? Then why not why waste like 2 hours or 3 hours searching for the right Stack Overflow answer and just ask ChatGPT for those utility methods, unit test cases, learning some new technology configurations, etc., to do that. But slow, like it's moving so fast now, you can do everything with them, right? So we are going towards the agentic flows. Or you must have heard of Devin devastated the world, like fear infiltrated fear in every developer, that oh, now our jobs are in jeopardize. But I think yeah, it's far away that it will replace human, but it will surely replace humans that don't use AI.
Hmm. And you said they use ChatGPT, so I'm assuming they don't use Anthropic, because I saw that their performance is similar.
Yeah, yeah, I think Claude 3, uh, ChatGPT has um a good feature called memory. So right now it retains memory about my conversations, like and also my profile, what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to align. So that feature I think is currently like not very much present in other systems, and they forget the context because their context window is shorter. But I think internally ChatGPT uses something like, whenever you chat with them about your conversation, it compresses some knowledge and saves it into memory, which adds to the every context of your future conversation. And I think what I've found is the other approach, what you can do is have a local version of an AI running on your personal computer, and have open web UI plus Olama models running locally, and you can feed them your local data, like your resumes, your past projects, etc., as documents. You can feed it to your knowledge.
Hmm. I never thought about that. And what would you say are like outside of ChatGPT? Do you use other AI tools personally or for your clients that you found are helpful?
I think I started using Google Gemini. Google Gemini is these days giving better responses. I'm comparing responses with ChatGPT, and I think I found it to be improving a lot faster than ChatGPT. So yeah, I'm using Google Gemini. Then I've also started, as Llama 3 came out, trying to look at Llama 3. And one other tool I suggest most of the people to benchmark the performance if they want to use it in their projects is Grok. Grok tells you about the exact response times for different models that you can use. GROQ.
Hmm. And how do you go about staying updated in AI? Do you follow certain individuals or do you use certain platforms for your knowledge?
Yeah, I think the biggest name right now is Perplexity AI, like following your searches, etc., through Perplexity AI, and it will update you about the latest news about your interest. So it knows it, like recognizes what you are searching for, what you are reading about, etc., and then give you updates there. So one is Perplexity is a good resource. And then yeah, following a lot of individuals, like I think a Twitter personality named Rowan Chung. He's like the most prominent person giving the most updated AI news. And there is a person called Matt Wolf, which is a good YouTuber updating about AI news.
And just how do you go about like managing your time, helping other people with their own coaching while balancing your job with Apple, which I would assume is quite demanding.
Yeah, I think so. You have to set boundaries actually, like when you are working in your primary job, and the hours you have dedicated to your primary jobs, you should complete that hours. And then I have a family too, so I have to spend time with my daughter as well. And so I think the main what I have learned in personal growth is, it's not about how much you do, but it's about how deep you go in a particular thing. So you should analyze and focus a direction for yourself, and then you can spend like 1 hour daily, or even 30-40 minutes daily dedicatedly to a particular subject, and you'll be able to devote or go deep into a particular subject very easily.
So you would just recommend having little blocks of time focused on each thing, family, this and that, if I'm correct?
Yes, yes, absolutely. And like I think a lot of people think that if they want, if they will focus a lot on their career, then they can't do health, they can't take care of your health or other things. But There's another company and person I've been following since last couple of years called Vishen Lakhiani from Mind Valley, and they have a concept called life book. So you can like be good at all of the things that you want. So I have like 8 quadrants of my life, like career, health, bucket goals, playing like sports like golf, tennis, etc. So and I track each one of them and at least plan some time for each one of those quadrants every week.
Hmm. I think Chris Williamson, if you know from Modern Wisdom, I think he was
Yeah.
saying something, what you don't track doesn't get improved. So you're just living
Yes.
by that motto.
Tracking is very important, and I think even if you just so don't be like I think you can't micromanage everything or track like very detailed, but having top 10 things which you want to track and just having those counters increment. Like I most the bigger things I track is number of days I have meditated in a year, number of days I have completed my maybe 700 calories of exercise, minimum exercise in a day, and read 10 pages of a book, etc. So there should be some core bulletproof goals of your life.
Hmm. And talking about like structuring your own life, how do you go about structuring the way you like code yourself? Like, do you have a certain way you go about analyzing problems, or a certain way you learn new things, or however it may be?
Yeah. So I think the the most evident way is to take small steps and not overwhelm yourself about a lot of information, right? Because we are living in such an information age, like era, that you have Twitter, you have like YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. How do you manage everything, right? So I think it's important to limit yourself to the quality information and then give yourself time to process that information. And I think I'm trying. I think in future we'll have these AI tools to just process. You learn those information and maybe just say to your AI assistant, oh, I want you to note that, compress it, and maybe if you need in future you can tell me if you have. I love the new device features like if you have heard of limitless AI, like the pendant which has been launched. Have you seen that?
Oh, I haven't. Is it similar to the bunny thing where it's on here?
Yes, yeah, it's some the AI pin is here, the bunny is in the hand, but this is like a very cheap version of both of the devices called Limitless AI. Yeah, it's pretty good. You should look at it.
And you use that for.
So I think the promise it is which I have in a mind is like it will be like your it will be a pin. It is $100 only, and it will you can send voice notes and it can save those voice notes into your local computer, and the data will not even go to cloud if you don't want, and it will record your voice, um, and it will not record others voices. Privacy, if somebody has given their consent in their voice, then only it will record someone's voice.
Wow, that's very interesting. And the other interesting thing I saw is you said you started web development agency when you're in high school. 12 specifically, am I correct?
Yeah, 12 or 13 years was when I started it. It was 2008 or some 2000, yeah, 2005, 2006 mostly. But uh, I had like some love with computers. I could sit on computers the whole night learning HTML or coding something, etc. So I started, okay, if I've learned something, why not I leverage and utilize it to earn some money?
Mm. And how did you go about from there? What are like some of the key moments from there to where you are right now? Because it's quite a jump.
Yeah. So I think I started with building like small websites for maybe $50 or $100 at that time, a 3-page website, 5-page website. And that time there was no like marketing tools, right? There were no ads, Facebook ads, etc. So I had to I remember I used to spam people on Yahoo Chats rooms like, oh, get a website in $50, get a website in $30, etc. And I grew from there, learning marketing, learning entrepreneurship, learning etc. And then during my college days I got involved in some other startups in payment finance technologies in India, and then we grew it to a multi-million dollars business. But I was like the I was handling the technology of those companies, but those companies were founded by a few of my friends who were initially with me. And then from that, I built a solid platform, but I wanted to learn scale, more like scalable things. So I joined a big corporation, um, then did then did consulting for big US banks like Morgan Stanley, Barclays, and etc. Build mobile application solutions for them. Then I moved to that e-commerce company called Flipkart, which was handling billions of customers in India. And yeah, from there, then I joined my current company, and have been there for 7 years now.
Wow. How do you go about choosing between, you chose like a more normal career as a 9 to 5 rather than entrepreneurship? What's the reason for that? And yeah, how did you go about thinking through business or that?
Yeah, so because I initially had, like, during my college days, I did the business. I tasted that work of business, and I think there's a lot of like pressure of like you have to work 24/7 when you're doing your own business, right? And a lot of things are like, oh, you have to, when customer calls, you have to attend. You can't do any other things, etc. And then a lot of things hamper. But it's always good to try first, and then yourself will analyze, oh, is this world for you or not? And internally, I reflected on myself and chose that I would choose corporate jobs. And now I also want to promote intrapreneurship. Like, you can grow within companies quite fast. In the past decade, I've had 5 promotions, like every 2 years of promotion, and grew to a good um, level right now. But it's not only like you can grow your business, but always think about how, as an like, even if I'm working for a company, I'm doing business of my own skills, I'm selling my skills. If I can have my salary grow at 20% or 30% every year on year, I'm yeah, earning the same money I could have done in a business, right? And but with my peace of mind, getting dedicated time for my hobbies, etc., having a balanced life. So I think every person should maybe try entrepreneurship. If it's not for them, try entrepreneurship and trying to go up the ranks of a company internally.
And what would you say are the key things that led you to become a pretty successful entrepreneur yourself?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of things that, similar to entrepreneurship, you should be able to market yourself internally in a company. You should be able to highlight your assets, your strengths to different teams within your organization or your senior leaders. You should articulate very well the accomplishments you are doing for someone, or highlight. It's not just about doing work, but also showing work or showcasing work to more people. The second thing is networking with within a company is very important. So you just don't talk to the 5 colleagues in your team, but you should network with senior business leaders of other teams within your organization. Talk to them. Maybe start an internal meetup group for your technology. Maybe start an internal podcast within your company. Start something like that, and that would be helpful for you.
Hmm. So it's about showing what you're capable of in a manner people can understand, and having people to show that to and build connections with, if I'm correct.
Yes. Yes.
Um, what would you say are common mistakes entrepreneurs might make while they're building their career? Instead of things they can do well, what are things that they might do wrong?
Yeah. So one is that the most important thing is similar to how it said that when you're doing a business, you should choose what you are passionate about, right? Similarly, a lot of entrepreneurs, or when you join a company, you are forced to do certain things, and then you put yourself in a cocoon that, oh, I'm doing this thing now, I'll not get an opportunity to build next thing. But what I would say is, you have to show people that, oh, I'm passionate about this thing, I can do this thing, and people will give you opportunity. For example, in my career, when I was in my first company after college, um, generally after your college, if you join a company, you are regarded as a fresher, and you are told to learn Java, ASP.NET, or the technology that they want you to learn, right? And your past experience is doesn't matter. But I have been like an entrepreneur or learned web development. I had made 300 websites before my college, so I
Wow.
had to leverage that skills, right? So within my new organization, I just developed some certain websites to showcase them my knowledge, and a VP got interested, and that VP assigned me directly to a new center of excellence that was being made, and I developed. I was included in RFP proposals to big banks for their big multi-million dollar RFPs, and I was just a fresher out of college.
And it's because you made 300 websites, which is still insane.
No, but yeah, 300 websites was previous to joining that company, and that, yeah, they saw my portfolio a bit, but what I built internally for them, like just hobby websites which were interesting to them to showcase to their clients, was with. So when you join in an organization, maybe your sister org or sister concern team requires some new tool to be built, and nobody is building it because they don't have budget. So in your free time, if you build up that tool for them, and then they will know that, oh, you are passionate and you're good at this, and they will open up new opportunities for you.
Hmm. And as AI is developing, like the release of Devon or maybe the future Devons, um, I'm assuming that'll affect the portfolios of like the websites you can create because now you can easily create them with AI. How do you think people should change as developers and software engineers as the development of AI and a way to show their portfolio to prove that they themselves can do it?
Yeah. So I think the most benefit is, if you so the AI is also right now, or would need some guidance, review, etc., right? And if you can be the pilot of the AI in the next 5 years or decade, I think every human has to be the pilot of an AI system. And if you can prove that you can be a pilot of a very good AI system which can do a lot of work, then you'll be hired, right? It's like maybe 100 people will be replaced by 10 people, but those 10 people have to be good to do the work of 100 people using AI, right? So you have to be out of those 10 people. So I think everyone should start learning about the agentic systems. How do you have your own, I always say this analogy of, think about having unlimited interns for yourself to do your work, but you have to showcase that work, right? So you have to get the work done from your interns.
It's like what's like a day in the life? Like how do you work? Like you wake up this time, you do this. It can be down to like the little things then at work, like to the extent where you can talk about it.
Yeah, I think I can talk about in generic, like maybe in my previous orgs what I did, etc. But or what a generic developer would do. Like, yeah, you get up, you have like a stand up or a scrum with your team, get through the tasks. You can guide some tasks of like architecture, design, etc., and do some architecture design, and then do some coding of creating the boilerplates or of a new project, etc., and then assign those tasks, review those tasks, pair program with your friends, etc., colleagues, and then continue the day. And I think like 40 or 50% is time is spent in meetings, and 40-50% time in coding.
I mean, I'd love to, because while I was going through LinkedIn, it seemed like you were a big proponent of self improvement. Um, how do you think self improvement has helped your career so far and your own skill sets?
Yeah, I think self improvement is a very important perspective for everyone, because um, it's similar to any business growth. If you don't grow, then you'll not see the output. Like if you don't grow your skill set, then you'll not get the output of, say, maybe money, fame, or whatever you want, right? So you have to invest. So the input is always proportionate to the or output is always proportionate to the input you put, right? So then you improve yourself 1% even a day, or a little by little every day, and then you'll see the actions or the returns of those self improvement. And I think self improvement is not like you can do it in 1 month. Like, it's not like fat loss, right? You're at 60 kgs and you want to get it. It's a continuous journey, and you will evolve and keep learning from big people. So
What are like specific books or things you've learned in self improvement, which has been very helpful for yourself?
yeah, so there are certain books like I can say how to power your subconscious mind. There's a book, Art of Thinking Clearly, and there's a book, I think everybody would have read, Rich Dad Poor Dad, was a good perspective about finances and money. And then there are certain books which I've found about, like The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma, about self improvement. That's a good book. And yeah, and I think right now a lot of people don't have times to read books, so you can follow these great people who talk about self improvement and habits. uh, uh, I follow Tom Bilyeu, if you have heard of Tom Bilyeu.
Yeah, he's amazing.
uh, yeah, he's a great person. Then I recently I've been following Sahil Bloom. He's doing pretty well these days. Yeah, so there are certain folks that you can follow to motivate yourself. And yeah, uh, another YouTube channel which has like influenced my thinking is Yes Theory, if you have heard of Yes Theory.
I met them actually,
Oh.
accidentally. Great guys, great guys.
Yeah,
Seek
yeah,
discomfort.
so yes, yes. So I think you grow when you seek discomfort. You do when you get out of your comfort zone, and you have to say yes to um, new things, and then serendipity happens. Like, you'll find, like, like, for example, I just said yes to your podcast, right? And we are having so nice conversations, and I didn't knew, I never met you, I never knew, but I had that feeling, okay, this is gonna be awesome. And yeah, here I am. It's almost midnight at my
Really.
place, but yeah, but I'm all interested. I'm all energized to talk to you.
That thank you so much for your time. And yeah, seek discomfort. Because when I met him, actually, it was my friend and I. We were walking through at the middle of the at like 10 p.m. for like 2 hours across the city because we just wanted to, and then we just accidentally met them. So it's like it just connects for some reason, you know. Do you have a personal example of how like seek discomfort has helped yourself personally?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So I think I can say, like, uh, in my early days in my career, when I switched from, like, my initial service company to the e-commerce Flipkart, I had an option to just, like, because I earned a lot of money in Flipkart, like, I got a salary hike of 300% at that time. But
Wow.
yeah, I could have been contented with that salary and do not do extra work or learn new things. But I chose to, like, consult startups. I used to get up at 5 a.m. and give trainings to Cognizant Technologies or different companies in North America from back from India. And yeah, so I chose to get up early, do my work, like spend so much time in writing a book at the same time, etc. And yeah, it helped me a lot.
Mm. And just talking about self improvement, I just thought it was interesting because you seem really experienced, but one of your posts you're talking about imposter syndrome, and I would love to get your intake on that. Do you feel it at the moment still?
Yes, absolutely. Every time I think it's about reminding yourself that you can be better, right? At any moment in life, you can be always better. I think, like, I see Bill Gates doing so good work currently. Like, he spent so much time traveling the world and trying to make world a better place. Still, he has billions of dollars. He doesn't need to do all of these things that he's trying to do, right? But yeah, so I think everyone can be inspired from people and to do better till you can, and help the world, and the world will always help you back.
Mm. Another post, this one I haven't fully understood it, but I find it interesting. Is just, the turning point came when I embraced the wisdom that opportunities often disguise themselves as insurmountable problems. We'll love more insight on that.
Yeah. So again, say this something comes with like seek discomfort or certain things if you will evaluate in your life that in health training, when you push yourself, your body to the last, then only you get that strength in your muscles, right? If you just do a flat line, you just run like if you're just running 2 miles for every day, those 2 miles will be easy and you'll not push yourself and till the problems come. So the problems teach you some new things, new aspects, and you get more strength. So that in the next time at the adversity, you will be able to solve those problems very quickly. S- and I think remaining calm in your problems is one of the in the initial times I used to maybe run away from problems. If the problems came, I said maybe I'll not solve them and just ignore them. But I think that was the worst decisions. And now I try to just be there. However hard the problem is, try to solve to my best abilities. And then it automatically will teach you something and you'll learn something and you will come out of it.
Hmm. And I'm assuming since you're in a more managerial position that now you have to solve those problems that come up to you.
Yes, absolutely. Like now people will bring you the problems or bring me the problems that are not being solved by anyone or multiple people, and after those layers they come to me. And sometimes I cannot solve those problems, and I agree to like I accept that I cannot solve those problems. But what I try to do is, because of the networks I have, I can find 10 different experts combine their knowledge and then solve that problem. So but but yeah, something can be done always. Like the the world will never stop, and the world will, you'll always do some compromise, but maybe find some suboptimal solution. So I think what I've learned is there is such a fine balance in the world that you have to be perfect, but at the same time you cannot be perfect. So it's like, yeah, it's contradictory, but I've seen like, so you have to aim for perfection, but you have to give the world something, right? If you have to launch something for your customers, you can incrementally in an agile way improve it after even you launch it.
Hmm. I mean, I just find this interesting because you're talking about how you have team members and networks that you get their insights from, and you work for Apple. And I heard Steve Jobs when he was questioned what his favorite product was. Steve Jobs didn't say iPhone or the MacBook. He said that it was a team that he built. That was his best product. That was the thing he was most proud of. So I guess you're following the Apple way. Um, and one of the things you also help with your clients is you go help them plan their own career. I would love to go more in depth. How do you go about helping them plan their career? Because I'm actually 17 right now, and I'm trying to also figure my life out. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think, yeah, that's one of the I feel like a gift I have, or I try to help them. As I've seen many different careers, right? I have been into entrepreneurship, I have been into a small company, a big company, a large company, etc., right? So I think the first thing I guide everyone is to in the initial part of your career as you're 17, you should go into breadth, like do everything you can in a company. Let's say marketing, you can do sales, you can do tech, you can do operations, right? But then after maybe say 10, 5 or 6 years of your experience doing a lot of things in small startups, medium startups, you'll automatically find your niche or find your passion in, right? Like I think you like you know your passion, but sometimes you have to hone your passion or just test it out, right? In similar to if you are trying to buy a product, first time maybe you have to get some demos of all the products, test drive some cars, and then know which car you want to choose for a longer time. So in the initial parts do all of those things, marketing, sales, operations, etc. And that's what I did with my career. When I was in my own company or started my own company, I used to market it myself, do operations, etc., everything. And then when you find your niche, find your and then hone in it. So this is one thing. The second thing which I think is important in career is to learn new things. Never stop learning new things, because as you like the now the technologies and everything evolves so fast. I've seen people's career got stagnated because they don't learn new things. So at this stage, even in my life, in my career, I'm trying to learn new things every week. I have a tracker of the number of Coursera courses I do in a year. So I do you might have seen in my LinkedIn, I post about the Coursera courses I do every month or every 2 months. So this is the second thing I would say is very important. And third thing in your career, which would be very important, to form meaningful net professional connections, which will help you a lot. I think I've seen people apply to jobs like thousands of resume sending, and these days people don't have time to read resumes or like see through your jobs, right? If you have strong connections who know your work, your worth, they will be able to refer you very easily to the post or the positions that you want to apply to, and that will get you at least the interviews very quickly, and then your abilities will be able to use into your. So these are the three foundations for career building. And the fourth thing which I'm trying to make a foundation is using AI to improve your career tools, right? And AI tools currently is like using some kind of an LLM to improve your communications, improve your processes of work, optimizing your work, optimizing your schedule. And the second thing which I'm currently also evaluating was using having unlimited AI interns for you, like doing agents, try testing, creating the agentic workflow for yourself, your personal life, and your personal work.
Hmm. And when you're trying to find your niche and stuff, I found that a lot of developers, I go to a weekly meetup and there's a lot of self taught developers. They struggle a lot initially. And then for some people, maybe it's not meant for them. How do you determine if it's just the struggle you have to go through to learn or if it's just not meant for you?
Yeah, so I think there is a philosophy that if you don't go through the whole way, you will not know that were not meant to be there, right? You don't know where you have to reach somewhere to know that, oh, you don't want to go there and then track back or go somewhere else. So I think it's a different thing for everyone where they should stop. But I say, like, for me at least, if you are into development, at least 2 years is a time where you could determine, like, don't give anything which you don't like or you're dragging yourself for 1 or 2, 1.5 or 2 years.
Hmm. So just have a longer time frame than just a couple
Yes.
of months.
Yeah, a couple of months is like, I think so. This is like the Gen Zs have such a short attention span. Like they want everything to be like finalized within 2 months, right? But I think, yeah, 2 months is a very short time to finalize your career or the passion for your career, right?
Um, and what would you say are your current future goals at the moment? And yeah, what would you say are your future goals? I think especially with the change of AI, I think that changes a bit of your future goals probably.
Yeah, so I have been into web development since last 20 years or like 15, 17 years, and have seen evolution from static HTML pages to dynamic WordPress based blogs to now single page applications, hybrid applications, etc. So I plan to equip myself to be a leader in now. I think the computer interaction in future will be conversational and 3D. So AI will be the next phase of human computer interaction, right? So you will compute interact with computers using an AI digital pal. So I'm trying to invest myself to become a leader expert in human computer interaction using conversational technologies like AI. And 3D also, I think, is a very good way to, like, in future, like 3D VR, virtual reality, or holograms. You'll be talking through AIs using holograms, or each other using holograms.
Hmm. If you could travel back in time to when you're 17 years old, what would you say? If you could say one sentence.
Yeah, I could say that um, I should go deep into some things more with more time. As I said, that 1 2 years of the time you should keep go deep into something and not go, like, just keep on changing things that you are interested in. If I would have done that, I may have reached to where I am maybe a little earlier, but yeah.
So stick with things.
Yeah, stick with things for a longer time to, and try to scale them and try to grow them.
And where can people find you at?
People can find me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I can respond on LinkedIn, so people can search me on LinkedIn by Rahat Khanna, or yeah, and I'll be happy to help or answer their questions, or maybe my AI twin will happy to answer their questions.
Yeah, soon enough. Thank you so much for your time. It was my pleasure.